Just doing the QAA line, we're coming up to a river crossing and we're just going to walk it first.
In this episode of Design and Built, we head to a very wet Simpson Desert via Fowlers Bay. And we put the induction to the test with an exquisite duck risotto by Dad.
It's ruminating. Look at that. Look at that.
This episode is part of our 2023 tour series where we attempted the Canning stock route. However, Cyclone Isla had foiled our plans and we were heading back across the Nullarbor to attempt the Madigan line in the Simpson Desert.
Day 2 with Dad on tour. I've lost count of the actual days. It must be like day 11 or something like that. Today we're heading back across the Nullarbor. Just pulled up at a random campsite overnight. Dad was thrilled. And hopefully we get to Seduna today, so a bit of a long haul.
Longest straight in the world.
World's longest straight.
Don't we have 9 hours to do today, and instead we're just faffing around here?
That's right, we're just talking to randoms around here. Love it.
That's alright. We'll do 60 Ks and then we'll get and then we'll play another golf hole, have some breakfast, see if we can slide down a bit more. Longest straight, I reckon, the world. Surely there's no one longer than this one. They can't be.
Nothing but facts.
Back across the Nullarbor we went. We even got to see the Great Australian Bight twice in one trip.
New Scott's Beach, Fowlers Bay, and we're watching a bit of action figures. Travis Pastrana, greatest action hero of all time.
I've watched some of the great movies. Jeez, it's pretty good, isn't it?
Rizzoni and action figures and Clarkson's Farm.
Could be good.
So, here's McLean. Cows.
Morning.
Morning, mate.
Good morning. Welcome to another day.
Welcome to another day on tour. Bit of maintenance, got my 10mm out, and you'll notice that this really expensive, need a 13mm. This really expensive exhaust locking nut, the metal one that I purchased, it's like $8, has come loose. So good. Anyone else got more expensive nuts I can get and have them still fail? That'd be good. Done. I think that's all the barra maintenance for now. Everything else pretty good, nice and tight. Hot side still together, not exhaust leaking. Yeah, honestly, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. We're 20,000 Ks down now, and yeah, it's looking pretty good. Day 2 with Dad. I hope you can see that from the camera. It's quite amusing watching his facial expressions. Quick beach run this morning, and then off to Fowlers Bay, Seduna, and then we're heading up north. Hopefully we can make the beach run.
I hope I make it full stop.
Welcome to Fowlers Bay, Scott's Beach. We're on our way to Seduna today, and then starting our trip north to the Madigan line. Yeah, what a place to wake up! Yeah!
Welcome to Fowlers Bay. I reckon that's probably the 4th or 5th time we've got that on camera, and we're going to edit them all in and go welcome to Fowlers Bay 5 times in a row. Off to Fowlers Bay.
Near Fowlers Bay. Welcome to Fowlers Bay. Welcome to Fowlers Bay. They've got Turbio Steak coffee here, like real coffee.
That's huge. The southern states are just much more superior than the northern ones, like Queensland.
We arrived in Ceduna on a high after an awesome morning beach run. We had checked the Simpson was open before we left Esperance, so we were all in positive spirits that we were going to cross the Simpson Desert, and we were looking to book a scenic flight over Lake Eyre on our journey up, and that's when we started to get word that conditions were not in our favour.
In an event of an Eyre Creek flooding... Okay, alright. Yep, gotcha. You just don't know. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Boiling.
Okay.
I'm hoping for no deep river crossing.
He just doesn't know how high it's going to get, which is fair. There's a bypass about 30 kilometres up, and it's a rock bottom. He said last time it was 2 metres in Eyre Creek, 2 metre depth, and he went through the bypass and it was 800 mil deep.
I say, let's go. You're on groceries, I'm on beers. Let's go.
You can probably tell from this bit of dialogue with the ranger in Birdsville that things weren't going well. Our initial plan was to cross the Madigan line from west to east, however Mount Dare was flooded and there was no real way to start the Madigan line. So we accepted defeat and decided to cross the French line from east to west, starting in Birdsville. There was another complication as well. Eyre Creek, which runs through the Simpson Desert, was about to flood. We were told we had 3 days to get to Birdsville and cross Eyre Creek, otherwise we wouldn't be able to get across for months. So we quit faffing around and hit the road, with the intention to get to the Simpson Desert in 2 days to beat the flooding.
Made it to Maree. Here we go, on the dirt. Looking good. Birdsville track, don't know if we'll make it. Apparently floodwaters, we'll see. The trip's now called Not Canning in all of our groups. The Not Canning trip. And now it's going to be potentially the Not Birdsville or the Not Madigan. Oh, Tropical Cyclone Isla. It's banned. Anyone calls their kid Isla, get out. Unsubscribe, I don't want to hear it.
How do you pronounce this place properly? Mungarani. Shout out to Mungarani Pub. Great hospitality. Make sure you check it out when you're on the way to and from Birdsville.
Mungarani Pub, definite stop. Have to come through here on your way.
Birdsville's had a little bit of rain in the last few days, so we're about to cross the Diamantina River. Made it to the iconic Birdsville Hotel, one of the most iconic outback pubs. What a time to be alive. Stoked to be here.
Made it across the river crossing into Birdsville, so step 1 complete. There's another river crossing, Eyre Creek, which has apparently got a lot of water in it. We'll see if we get across that and then get to go across the Simpson Desert to Mount Dare. So this is either the end of the journey or just the beginning.
We made it to the Simpson Desert in 2 days, having 1 day to spare on the initial flood predictions. We got to the main crossing at Eyre Creek and there looked to be a lot of water. So we continued on to the bypass with hopeful spirits.
This is the commitment that Richard has to go through to bring you the entertainment.
go through to get shots for design and build. It's not overly pleasant. Just doing the QAA line, we're coming up to a river crossing and we're just going to walk it first. When you're forward driving, it's really important to make sure that you always walk the crossing first. And if it gets like this and you have to start swimming, probably not the right move.
How stoked are you about how the trip's going so far?
It's actually comical. Like, at first I was a little disappointed we weren't going to do the Canning, and then I was like, oh yeah, we'll go to the Madigan and QAA, cross that one off the list. Then here we are, we've got to do none of them, but I put 5,000 Ks on the car. Obviously, things haven't gone to plan, but at the end of a very long couple of days, it's really important just to have a beer and watch the sunset with your mates. Final sign off for Dad. This is the closest you'll ever get, for maybe, unless you come with me again, which is not out of the question.
The jury's out on that one.
I hope you do. But
It's been a great time, Rich, so far.
I guess the silver lining is that I got to spend time with my old man and good mates. So
Absolutely.
I guess it's not all bad. I mean, we didn't get to do what we wanted, but it's honestly, it's very rare we get to spend time with each other. So
Yeah, it's been a pleasure and a privilege, I've got to say.
This sunset was one for the books. It did mark the end of our planned routes, but what a spectacular way to drown our sorrows. Turns out we weren't actually at the proper bypass, so we eventually found it, but it still wasn't passable. We did have something to look forward to that night. Dad's duck risotto cooked on the new induction setup.
Rex has sorted us some
on the game.
duck risotto.
First step is to go and get a glass of wine.
I gave Dad a hard instruction. Absolutely no wine bottles on the trip. And he doesn't really drink anything else, to be honest, which has proven difficult. So he's gone and got some modern day goon bags.
This is something from a blast from the past. This is Squealing Pig, another sponsor.
Potential sponsor.
Now, so one for the chef before he gets going. It tastes like shite. God, that's shocking.
So the squealing pig's no good.
Oh, it's foul.
A number of nights testing the induction so far. It seems like we have a bomb-proof system if we don't turn the inverter on and off, but we're on 96% of 220 amp hours to start with, and obviously it's a big cook, but let's boil this thing.
Great.
1400 watts. This will be boiling in no time.
I have found out that this is a le creuset. It's a casserole dish. It's cast iron, and that will work equally as much as these shitty things they've sent us.
Where did you get that? Is that a Kmart?
We purchased these. They haven't sent us these.
Who's we purchased them?
I purchased them.
Oh, you purchased them? Because I would never buy that. And why would you buy a fry pan so bloody small? I mean, now this is a jus made from red wine and onions.
Another top up, Rex?
I think we need to have some refreshment.
So we've got the vinegar ready? Here you go, Rex.
And that's what it tastes like. I had some beans cryovac by my dearest, and I just popped them in here. That the water's boiling, and they were pre-cooked.
Yep.
And I'm going to now put in the duck.
Duck one of one.
And one of two. So they'll go there.
Like it's labelled so we know.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
It's boiling away now. It's already partially. Squealing Pig, you're actually improving as I have another one of these.
Oh, maybe sponsorship's back on.
So we have our jus nice and warm at 400 watts.
That looks like chicken to me.
No, it's not chicken. This is well and truly duck.
We're toasting the rice.
We're toasting the rice. And the reason we toast the rice is because we want to just give some nice flavours. A little bit of oil, just a splash.
That's just olive oil and toasting the rice.
Yep. The idea of the risotto is that you have to absorb the risotto. So what I'm doing, I'm actually adding the porcini to this base with my chicken stock from Campbell's. They could be a good sponsor.
I thought you said it was from Savina.
Some leek and mushroom mix. You don't want it sticking to the bottom like it has.
It has it?
Oh yes, I've taken my eye off the ball. I was distracted
By what? Filling up
by
your
one
wine.
of you blokes, that's what.
Filling up your wine, I reckon, Rex.
But look, I'll show you this though. The duck is now, it's ruminating. Look at that. Look at that. We are doing al dente, we're not doing mush. Right, it's finished. Let me just tell you that. We're all ready to rock and roll.
Oh yeah. Where do you get this in the middle of the desert? Only at Rex's.
The duck risotto was absolutely delicious, and the induction system held up well and cooked for 5 people. We checked on Air Creek the next morning, which had grown significantly, and we decided to spend a day by it before we headed out of the desert.
What do you mean? We're sitting at the side of Air Creek, Air River, Air Ocean.
Air Ocean.
At the beach in Simpson Desert.
This is literally the Madigan line, like 100 meters into that.
What's happening there, Richard? On this episode of Design and Build, tell us what's going on.
So for those who've been following along, you'll know that I just built this canopy and I was really worried about the seals. And you can obviously see here quite a lot of mud, and we've been through the red dust as well. And the seals are sealing, which is really cool. So yeah, I mean, actually excellent. So really muddy on the outside, nice on the inside, and you can see there the seals just stop in the water, which is bloody awesome. So good stuff. Today, so I just had a quick check of the exhaust bolts, and 2 of the 3 were loose. So got my spare bolts box, this portable toolkit which has everything in it, and we're just going to tighten them up. We were making our way out of the Simpson Desert, and we had booked a charter flight for the next day, and we were going to look at the flooding from the air.
Flight over Air Creek, which should be pretty spectacular because there's heaps of water in it.
Seeing the desert in flood like this was pretty special, and it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so we just sat back and took it all in. It definitely put us in better spirits. I almost considered not posting anything from this trip, but I think it's important not to glorify trip videos and tell it how it is. Not everything always goes your way, but we'll be back and we'll get it another time. To the viewers out there, I'd love to hear about your trips that haven't gone to plan in the comments below. The good news is we had formulated a plan C, which was the Flinders Ranges and Big Desert, so keep your eyes peeled for the next episode because we get to do some more wheeling content. Really good. Got really excited there. That was a lot of fun.